Let's compare Maryland versus Georgia in a place to retire. We have two fun cities to look at. Silver Spring, that's where I went to high school. That's where all the cool kids lived. And then Sandy Spring. Both are like inner burbs, one of D.C. and one of Atlanta. I think it'll be fun because I did my video I think it was yesterday. Oh, boy, Finnegan. I see him making a big old mess over there. Of the Maryland pension exclusion. And like always, we get some emails, not emails, but comments like, I'm getting out of Maryland. Dude, I get it, 100%. Your governor sucks. Wes Moore sucks. Your previous governor, Larry Hogan, he sucked. You know what I'm saying? 100% I get it. But don't think Georgia is all that removed from having crappy politicians. Look at our Secretary of State, Brad Puffy. Oh, my Puffy Barger. What a clown. He's going to fix the election debacle. And he hasn't fixed nothing. You know what I'm saying? But be that as it may. I want to look at this. I think it'd be fun. We're going to look at it from a tax perspective, home price perspective. We're looking from sales tax perspective as well, home price. And we're going to look at in terms of kilowatt hours and kind of in terms of electricity use and whatnot. I think you'll get something out of this. And we'll look at it from climate perspective too. Not stupid climate change because that's just dumb, but climate in terms of the moderate temps or not. All right, so let's dive into this first and foremost. So what we're going to do here is I'm on RightCap. We got David and Sally's sample. All right, David and Sally's sample. And this might be a long video, so I can tell you it'd be fun, man. I thought it'd be fun. And give me a thumbs up right this very second. And if you haven't subscribed, you're a big fat loser. You don't want to be a loser, so hit that thing in there. Hit the subscribe button. So what you'll see here is Dave and Sally. And let's see where they got them living. We're gonna have them. We'll have them living in Georgia first. All right, living in Georgia. They're both 68 years old. And they got $1 million schmackaroonies in their 401k plan or IRA. I think, David's IRA, $1 million. Oh, that's how come it's only David's name? You're so Harris Butker, whatever his name is. How come it's only David's name? And then we're going to have them taking Social Security at basically $24,000 each, roughly $25,000 each a year. So that's $50,000 a year. All right. So they got $50,000 a year of Social Security. They got $1 million schmackaroonies in David's IRA because we're Harrison Butner people. And then we're going to say their goals are they need $100,000 a year in income. All right, that's going to be their goals. And so we're going to look at see what their taxes are. This is in Georgia. And we're going to say, and I don't care about this right now, we're going to say their goals, their taxes for the state of Georgia are going to be nothing. Nothing. No state taxes. Why? Because in Georgia, you get, let me just double check. Yeah, right there. Look at that. No state taxes. Why is that? Because in Georgia, if you're married filing jointly and you're over the age of 65, your first $130,000 is exempt from taxation. All right. So everyone's like, I got to move to Florida. I got to move to Tennessee. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Hey, move to Florida, pay those exorbitant homeowners home insurance costs, 100%. Pay all kinds of fees down there, taxes and fees. Move to Tennessee, pay those serious sales tax. Here in Georgia, we're moderate, dude. There's no income tax if your income's below 130. The property taxes are quite low, relatively speaking. And then homeowners insurance is quite low compared to Florida. And sales tax isn't that big. I mean, it's big. It's bigger, but it's not as big as Tennessee. All right, so you see they're paying nothing in taxes. All right, and then we're going to go to smartasset.com. Oops, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Maryland, and we're just going to do the same thing here. So again, $50,000 is a social. The total income is $100,000. So they're taking right here, withdrawal from accounts. They're actually taking $56,000 from their account. Why? Because they have to pay income tax. So if they need $100,000, that's before taxes. It's going to cost them $7,000 of taxes. So they got to clear at $57,000. They got to take out gross $57,000 and net $50,000. All right. So now let's go over. We're going to make them in Maryland. All right. So we're going to profile, familia. We're going to make them in Maryland. All right there. And then we're going to say, okay. And we're going to go back to retirement. And this will drop a little bit from like 73 to 68, 66 or something like that. So it does affect a little bit their ability to retire. But their taxes here are all of $2,200. That's it. So $2,200 in taxes to the state of Maryland. Not a huge tax consequence, I'm telling you right there. And you can see right here, they're going to take a little bit more from their portfolio. Oops, cash flows might want to do. A little bit more from their portfolio. They're taking $59,000 because they have about another $2,000 of taxes. So to move from Maryland to Georgia is going. I mean, that's going to save you $2,200 a year in taxes. Is that really worth it? I don't think so. I mean, again, it might be. I'm not getting a forced jab. I'll tell you that right now. I do like my AR-15, my Glocks. You know, and I also don't like the big green scam. We get a little bit of that here too. There's some solar farms going up, and I'm not even anti-solar. Everyone thinks I'm anti-solar, not in the least. I just think the idea that you're going to run an economy on solar is stupid. It's just dumb, and wind and solar's not. Now, we did have just brought the first nuclear power plant. I think it was coming online in 2025 from Southern Company here in Georgia. So, you know, as much as the solar stuff drives up the wall, hey man, if that's what it takes to get nuclear online, I'm all for it. All right. So then we're going to go over here to our houses. And I said, okay, well, where are we at? We're in Silver Spring, Maryland. All right. So I said, actually, one second. I wish I was looking at it. So I said, we're going to buy a, right there. I can't see it. Between $500,000 and $800,000 house, 3 beds, 2 baths. It's got to be a single family home. All right. And we're going to buy one. I just said, let's click on this guy. It's on 8802 Second Ave. I have no clue where that is. I don't really care that much, but we're just going to look at this. It's 2,200 square feet, 775,000 bucks. All right, what's the property tax on this guy? All right, we're gonna scroll. Whoa, ooh, scary. Hear that thunder? Thunder? Yeah, that's kind of creepy. All taxes, insurance, about 800 smackaroonies. All right, so where's the freaking property tax on here? Okay, let me pause it. All right, so he does have natural gas. That's good. We always want natural gas because we're cool. And if you like natural gas, that makes you cool. Property tax about $6,900 in this house right here. All right, that's in the state of Maryland. All right, so let's take a look at one in Sandy Spring, Georgia. This is on a 4711 square foot lot, so a very tiny lot. Let's just look at the map here real quick, just so we can get a gauge of where. Oh yeah, well it's right downtown. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right, so it's right downtown. I mean, here's downtown Silver Spring. All right, so that's pretty cool. Silver Spring Civic Building. I don't know what that is, but all right, so there you go. It's right downtown. So if you like to walk, it's very walkable. All right, so now let's look at Sandy Springs. So here's Sandy Springs, Georgia, and we're just gonna pick this guy up, same price and everything, roughly. And I mean, let's just take it. Can I move this guy? Can I move my big fat face? There we go. So that doesn't look very friendly of a house in terms of that looks. Now it's 5 beds, 4 bath. Not a very alluring, that's for sure. But let's just take a look. Built in 1980 on half an acre. We're looking for the property tax. So it's a little bit bigger house, not very curbside appealing, that's for sure. That I don't like that brick either. But I'm looking at the property tax. You can look at these two up yourself. And freaking right here, show more. Let's look at property tax on this guy. They got natural gas. What did David Allen Coe say? Coal burning stove, no natural gas. And if that ain't country, I kiss your ass. Yeah, David Allen Coe. All right, so let's see what we got here in terms of property tax. If we can find it, my goodness. So the property tax on this are $74.23. All right, $74.23, and that's about $500 more than the one in Maryland. All right, again, this is not to sell you on Maryland, trust me. But here you can see is Consulate General of India, whatever that, I don't know anything about this place right here. But it's children's, they got CHOA, Scottish Rites right there. So if you need to go get your daughter in the CHOA because she's in NICU or something like that, there you go. So they're both urban areas. Let's just look at the street view on this guy real quick, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's both urban areas. So anyway, I just pointed them out. All right, now let's see what we got in terms of sales tax. So here's a state sales tax. Can I make that bigger? Let's see here. I can't see what that says for Maryland. What does that say? 6.6. Let me pause it real quick. Oh yeah, we can click on Maryland right there. Sweet, nice. Let's click on Maryland and see what they say for the good old state of Maryland. All right. Maryland has a 6% state sales tax rate and does not levy any local sales tax. That's pretty good. That's actually quite low, 6%. Now let's look at the great state of Georgia, where the Georgia peaches are. Georgia has a 4% state sales tax rate, but a maximum local sales tax rate is allowed of 5%. So an average combined state and local sales is 7.4. All right, so there you go. That's not good. And trust me, I pay it every day because I'm in Fulton County. When it comes to an estate tax, Maryland has both an inheritance and an estate tax. So right here, Maryland has a, let's see, hold on a second. But Maryland, for the estate tax, it's graduated from 0.8 to 16%, but they give you a $5 million exclusion. So if your estate is worth less than $5 million at death, there's no inheritance, no estate tax. So let's take a look at the inheritance, though, shall we? So Maryland's inheritance tax applies to all inherited property unless one of the exemptions applies below. So let's see. Spouse gets an exemption. There are many exemptions to Maryland's inheritance tax. It does not apply when the property is inherited by the person's spouse, child, parent, grandparent, brother, or sister. It also exempts these beneficiaries: spouse of a child, grandchild, other. So basically your family. And that is in the list of the entire exemptions. No taxes imposed on the transfer of the proceeds of life insurance policy that go to a named beneficiary. Inheritance, all right, amount of the deceased person. All right, so basically you can see amounts of the deceased person received as compensation for Holocaust-related losses. Okay, but you can see like this, basically within your family unit, there is no inheritance tax, but it doesn't say brother. Oh, it does say brother or sister. Okay, because in Pennsylvania, they still had a tax for the brother and sister. That's interesting, but it doesn't say nephew or anything like that. So that's interesting. So if you're married and you got kids, your kids aren't going to get inheritance tax. That's good. Some gifts are subject to a Maryland inheritance tax, even though they're made while you're alive. Gifts made in contemplation of death, deathbed gifts. Yeah, exactly. The Maryland inheritance tax is 10% due of the clear value of the inherited property. Clear value means the fair market value less certain expenses pay off the debt. Yeah, that's pretty. It's a good article there, Nolo. All right, so Maryland does have an inheritance tax and an estate tax. Hard to imagine either are going to be that applicable to most people here. Let's look at kilowatt hours, the cost of kilowatt hour. Let's check that. Before I did that, I want to go to the average cost for a gallon of gas in Maryland. It's 3.66. So let's now look in Georgia. And I have to look at it. I can't guarantee this is right. No, but I'm just using it right here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Georgia's 3.386. So definitely cheaper in the state of Georgia. All right, so now, now let's look at kilowatt hour cost of kilowatt hour per kilowatt hour use of electricity. Oh, 17 cents a kilowatt hour. Let's make sure that's true though. Is that for the consumer and commercial? The average electric rates are cost 17 cents kilowatt hours. That means the average electricity customer in Maryland is using. Yeah, let's take how much in Maryland. Yeah, right here. Now let's look at that. That's I wonder if they're combining the commercial and consumer. Let's take a look here real quick. On average, Maryland residents spend about $213 a month on electricity. That adds up to about $2,500 a year. All right, electricity. That's 17 cents a kilowatt hour. It looks like that is it, which is higher, 17% higher than the national average. Let's see. Over the next 25 years, you should expect 85,000 electric bills. See, this is from a solar plan. How much solar can save? Oh, let's try some out. Here I just put Silver Spring, Maryland at 12 cents, basically 10 cents, 11.5, 13 cents. I think the other was trying to show you that they're combining it with electricity with the commercial. And that's sneaky actually, because you're not paying. I mean, you might be paying 17 cents a kilowatt hour. I highly suspect you're not. All right, so let's keep looking here because this is from the EIA, and they said the average kilowatt hour. EIA says the average kilowatt hour is 16 cents an hour, 16 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's consumer residential electricity. Yeah, that's interesting. So let's see about Georgia. The ladies are pretty and they smell like peaches. Let's take a look. Georgia, we're about 21.79, which is 14 cents a kilowatt hour. That seems a little bit high, but yeah, these guys seem like they're all right. This solar people, I don't trust them as far as I can kick them because they all got something to sell you. But still, all right. So let's wrap this up. In Maryland, you'd pay $500 more in taxes. Your sales tax is 1.4% lower. You're also going to pay 25 cents more, about almost 30 cents more a gallon of gas. You'll pay about $400 more in electricity. And there's an inheritance and inheritance tax and an estate tax as well. So it's definitely more expensive by about 15. What's that? Depending on how much you buy. I mean, because I don't know what your consumption is going to be in terms of sales tax, but I'm going to say it's about $1,500 a year more expensive when you factor in income tax. Oh no, I'm sorry. In Maryland you pay scratch that. In Maryland you pay $2,200 more in income tax. You pay $500 less in property tax. You pay less in sales tax, more in gas tax, more in electricity. I'm going to say it costs about $1,000, about $2,000 a year or so, because I don't know what your total usage of your gasoline car will be, and I don't know what your sales tax can be, but it could probably cost about $2,000 a year to live in Maryland as opposed to Georgia, I would think. Maybe a little bit more than that. It depends on how much. Well, I don't know, because the sales tax is lower. The electricity's higher, but the electricity's kind of got a limit there, 2,500. I mean, I don't know. That's not as bad as I would have thought, man. That's crazy. Now, you can't own firearms in Maryland. You got a bunch of libs breathing down your neck. But at the end of the day, this is just a couple making $100,000 a year. So if you like where you're at, man, I mean, look, I'm not telling you not to move, but yeah, if life is good, why risk it to just go to save $2,000 a year? All right, love your thoughts. God bless. We'll see you.